Okay, you should be on lesson 7.8. Okay, draw a picture to show 18 plus 14, and then write a math story just for your picture and solve. Okay, so let's draw a picture first. Okay, so let's think about this. I'm just going to use a work mat because we understand work mats, right? Now, if I have a work mat, okay, here's my work mat. Y'all know what I'm talking about now? Okay. Now, 18 plus 14. They're telling me to add. So do I have a whole and a part, or do I have two parts?
Two parts.
Two parts. So I know that my two parts go here
18
and here.
14.
Okay? Honestly, it's going to take us a while to write our story, so I don't want us to draw everything out like that. Okay? So do it like this, right? So we have to find what?
The whole.
We got to find the whole, don't we? Okay? Now it wants us to write a math story problem. An addition story problem. We know it's addition because it's already telling us to add, right? Okay? So, what we're going to do is I'm going to say I have, and I'm not going to write it just because it's hard to write on with my mouse on my screen. But you're going to write it on your paper. Okay? You ready? I have 18 dogs. I have 18 dogs.
That's a lot of dollars. Wait, have or have?
Have.
Have.
I'll write it up here.
Who knows how to spell
Okay? I have 18 dogs. That's my first part. Okay?
It's your first.
That's my first part. I have 18 dogs. My second part is I bought 14 more. There's my second part. Okay. Then I have to ask my question. How many dogs do I have now? Or I could say, how many dogs do I have altogether? Okay? So, story problem. I have 18 dogs. I bought 14 more. How many dogs do I have now? Okay? That is my story problem. Okay? Now, let me show you one thing about our story problems when we're writing them. When you have to write an addition story problem, okay? An addition story problem. There are 3 steps, 3 things you have to do. Number 1, you're going to tell me how many you have. Okay, how many do I start with? Okay?
18.
No, okay. No, I'm just saying that's the answer. You have to tell me that in your question. How many you start with? Okay? That's not a question. You're telling me how many you start with. Did I say how many I started with? Yes. I have 18 dogs. Okay? Then you have step 2. I bought 14 more, so now I'm telling you what? How many more, right? Now I'm saying how many more? Okay, it's not a question. You're just telling me how many more. How many more in my story? I bought 14 more. Okay? Then your third step is you're going to ask, how many all together or now? Okay? Ask how many. I forgot the word how.
Makes no sense if you just put
Ask how So number 3 has to be a question. So how many sentences are you going to have when you write a story problem?
3.
You have to have at least 3. Okay, because when you're doing addition story problems, you must have how many you start with? I have 18 dogs. How many more?
14.
I bought 14 more. Ask how many altogether, or now, how many dogs do I have now? Okay, does that make sense? Okay, that's for addition. Okay, that's for addition story problems. When we get to a subtraction one, I'll show you what to do. It's just a little bit different. Okay? All right. What was our answer on 18 minus 14? 18 plus 14, excuse me.
32.
Yeah. So all you have to do is solve it.
32.
Okay? 8 plus 4 is 12. Is it greater than 9? Then I must regroup. Regroup by 10. 1, 1, 1 is 3.
32.
All right? Okay, let's go to the video.
How can you write a math story to help you solve a 2-digit problem? Let's find out. Analyze. Write a math story for 68 minus 33. You can start by drawing a strip diagram. How does the diagram show 68 minus 33?
All right, you can start by drawing a strip diagram. How does the diagram show 68 minus 33? Okay, this time we're looking at subtraction, right? So we know we have a whole and a part, so we must subtract. Okay? So the diagram shows us the whole and the part. We start with the whole when we subtract, then we take away a part. What are we looking for? The other part. Good.
The strip diagram shows what you know. The whole, 68, and one part, 33. What does the question mark stand for?
We already answered that. We said the whole, right?
The question mark stands for the missing part.
Or the part, excuse me. Say that one.
Plan. Write a story about your diagram. Here is Marta's story. Harry found 68 acorns. He gave 33 acorns to Joyce. How many acorns did Harry have left? How does Marta's math story show the diagram?
Okay, so she wrote a math story, and it's a subtraction math story. It's a little bit different than our addition math story, right? Okay, so let's think about this. Now I have a subtraction math story. Right here. Okay, now we're talking about subtraction. All right? My first step, okay, Harry found 68 acorns. It's going to stay the same, so it's, my number is how many all together? Okay, how many did I start with? Okay, so again, it's still how many I started with. Okay, then number 2, he gave 33 acorns to Joyce. So what do you think my number 2 step is? How many went away, right? How many are gone? How many were given? How many were lost? Any of those clue words, right? So we're just going to say went away, okay? How many went away? Shh. Okay, then my third part is to ask what? The question. How many acorns did Harry have left? So I'm going to ask what? How many are left, right? Okay. story if you remember to do those 3 parts. So with subtraction, how many you start with, how many went away, how many are left. Just like on the example on the screen, Harry found 68 acorns. He gave 33 acorns to Joyce. How many acorns did Harry have left? Okay? Class, when do I add? Think about the strip diagram. When do I add? Hiram. How do I know to add? Brecken. If I have 2 parts, that's when I add. How do I know to subtract? Callie. Well, yes, but a whole and a part, then I know I subtract, okay? Also, you would look at those clue words. You're right, Callie, okay? All right, so does everybody understand where we're at so far? These are the 2 things these are the things you have to include depending on the type of story you have to do. All right. Let's move it on.
Harry's acorns are the whole. The acorns he gives Joyce are 1 part. We do not know the other part. What question does the story ask?
Okay, how many acorns did Harry have left?
The story asks how many acorns Harry had left. Solve, justify, and evaluate. Solve your story. 68 acorns minus 33 acorns. What is the difference?
Hey, what's the difference? Somebody tell me. What is it, Nathan?
63 minus 33 was 35.
Okay, 68 minus 33 is 35 acorns. Good.
The difference is 35. So Harry had 35 acorns left. Keep this example in mind when you write your own math stories.
All right. Now you have an example on the front of how to do an addition story. And you have an example on the video part on the back of that page of a subtraction story, right? Okay. How does a strip diagram help you write a subtraction story? How does a strip diagram help you to write a subtraction story? And what does it help us identify? Sydney.
If we're subtracting or not.
Well, but how? What does it help me identify to know?
Because if there's a part and a whole, you know to subtract it. If there's a part and a part, you know to subtract.
Okay, so it helps me to identify the whole and the parts. That's your answer. It helps me to identify the whole and the parts. It helps me to identify the whole and the parts. Actually, we're on lesson 8, aren't we?
No, we're on lesson 7.
No,
It's
we're on
11.3. Lesson 8, 7.8. We're on 7.
All right, shh, I got it. Okay, it says write a math story for the number sentence, then solve. On number 1, is it a subtraction or addition?
Subtraction.
Subtraction. So we're going to look at our subtraction side on the board. What's the first thing they should do? How many what?
Ask how many you start with.
How many you start with? What did they start with? Somebody read the sentence that tells me what they started with on this page. Harper.
Eric picked 47 pairs.
Okay, Greg picked 47 pairs. That's how much they started with. Okay, the second step is to what? How many went away? All right, Bethany, what do they do to tell us about how many went away?
He gave 18 pairs to Anna.
Okay, he gave 18 pairs to Anna. All right, good. Then the third step is how many are left. And I forgot to put the word ask in front of that. Because I want us to ask that, don't I? Ask how many are left. Okay? What is the question that they ask, Kaylin?
How many pairs
many pairs does Greg have left? Okay, so that's the question. Do they have all 3 parts?
Yes.
Do we have what we need to solve it now?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So now what do I have to do? It's 47 minus 18. If it's hard for you to do the problem this way, remember I told you you can write it this way. Okay? So everybody needs to solve 47 minus 18. Okay, 7 minus 8. Can I do it?
No.
If it's small on top. Okay, so now it's 17 minus 8, which is 9, and 3 minus 1, which is 2. So my other part is, so I can't write. So my answer is 29. All right? Understand? Okay, let's look at the next. I'm going to do one more with you, and then you're on your own. Okay? All right, 46 plus 53. Are we adding or subtracting? We are adding, so we're going to start with this side. Okay? I'm going to write my story over here. All right, so this is number 2. Yes, you're going to copy my story because I want you to have the right example. Okay? All right. So if I'm doing 46 plus 53, my first step is how many you start with. Somebody give me a sentence that tells me what I start with. Caleb?
I have 20 cards.
I have, not 20, I have 46. 46 cars. Okay? All right, my second step is how many more? How many more? Sydney, give me a sentence that goes with it.
I buy 53 more cards.
Okay, I buy 53 more cars. Now, do I always have to say buy or bought? No. You can use whatever word that adds to it, okay? All right, somebody give me my third part, Brecken. We have to ask how many altogether or now?
How many cards do I have?
Okay, good. How many cars do I have now? Okay, you should be writing that down so that you have another example of an addition problem. This is for number 2 on page 342. Okay, we're using those rules up there. Okay? Then we're going to solve. Yeah, I'm not starting out. Have you already written the story down? Okay. All of it?
It is.
You need to get that down. Write the story down. You don't just ask that question. You have to write the whole story. Pay attention. All right, what's 6 plus 3?